Hello, and today we're talking about multi-step inequalities. As we went over last week and possibly even yesterday, we have our certain steps we need to follow to solve a multi-step equation and inequality. We treat them kind of the same here. So just a couple examples from the types of problems we saw last week. We first have to distribute. That is our first step. So we have to take this 3 and multiply it into our first term and then into our second term. Don't ever forget to multiply into both terms inside of your parentheses there. So when I do that, that 3 times 2 is going to give me a 6, and we still have our x attached to that. 3 times 2x is 6x. Plus, and then our 3 multiplied into that 8 over there is going to give us a plus 24 is less than or equal to 36. Then it's just like any other two-stepper here, so we're going to subtract 24, and 6x needs to be less than or equal to, looks like 12. Divide it out, divide by 6, and we have x is less than or equal to 2. X is less than or equal to 2. Alrighty, next example. So same deal, we have to distribute and then solve. So we need to take this negative 2 and multiply it into our first term. Take that negative 2 and multiply it into our second term. So I'm going to take care of that right now. Negative 2 times 4x will give us a negative 8x. And then negative 2 times negative 3 will give us a plus 6, less than or equal to 22. So now that we have that, it's set up just like a two-step. It is a two-step, not just like one, it is one. So we're going to follow our two steps. Subtract 6, Negative 8x is less than or equal to, looks like 16. 22 minus 6 is 16. We're going to divide by a negative 8, divide by a negative 8, and x is, remember, when we multiply or divide by any negative number to solve, we need to switch our inequality symbol. Looks like x will be greater than or equal to negative 2. All right, so those are just the distribute and solve kind of ones. We're going to run through our steps to solve any multi-step inequality once again here. So our steps to solve: 1 is always do the distributive property wherever you can. Anytime you see it, distribute. Number 2, we're going to combine our like terms. So remember, like terms are anything with the same variable, and that variable has the same exponent. And then our next step is to move the variables to one side of our inequality here. We're not going to deal with that today, so I'll star the steps we're going to go through today, but this is a step in the whole process when you see all the things happening here. Number 4, we're going to add or subtract the constant, so the number without a variable. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side of the inequality. Same thing for equations. And then the 5th and final step here, we multiply or divide by the coefficient, that number that's out in front of the variable. And that's the final step, and then you should have your variable is some kind of inequality compared to a certain value. A little star here, we never want to forget to, I'm going to write this in all caps, flip the inequality symbol when we multiply or divide by a, and that is a negative number, just like I did up in our second example up above there. All right, so the steps we're only going to be worrying about all together today is going to be our distributive property, combine like terms, and then solving like any other. So we're going to kind of ignore moving variables to one side today. We've got a few examples to go through here, and then we'll have a sheet for you to practice some of this on your own. So let's get rolling here with these examples. So first things first, we got to distribute 8 times x and 8 times 2. So we're going to get 8x plus 16 minus 6. Don't forget about anything that is still out there, is greater than or equal to 26. Combine our like terms. So the only like terms we have going on here is going to be this constant, 16, and this constant, -6. So we're just going to combine those. We have 8x, and 16 minus 6 is going to leave us with plus 10, greater than or equal to 26. All right, now we just have the simple two-step. So minus 10, minus 10, boom. 8 times x is greater than or equal to, looks like we're going to be left with a 16. Divide by 8, divide by 8, and x will be greater than or equal to 2. Running up with a lot of 2's today. That was a happy little accident there. So maybe we'll see something different than 2 pop up. All right, example number 2. We're going to take our 2 and distribute it into both terms here. So 2 times x is going to give us 2x. 2 times -3 is a minus 6. And then minus 4x greater than 20. All right, so checking out our like terms that we have to combine. We've got a 2x and a minus 4x here. So I'm going to combine those. 2x's minus 4x will leave us with a negative 2x and minus 6 greater than 20. From here, just a two-step. So we're going to add our constant of 6 plus 6. Negative 2x is then greater than 26. Divide by -2, divide by -2, and x will be, we divided by a negative, so we're going to flip our symbol, and that will be -13. X is less than -13. All right, example number 3. So I've kind of switched things up on us on purpose here, so steps remain the same though. We are going to distribute this 4 in. So we'll have 17 plus 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times -2 is -8, so minus 8, less than or equal to 12. Combine our like terms. We have a constant 17 and a constant -8, so we're going to combine those guys. 17 minus 8 will leave us with a 9, I believe. Yep. So 4x minus 9, less than or equal to 12. Two-step, two-step. Plus 9, plus 9. 4x is less than or equal to 21. And I goofed this up. I didn't mean for us to get a fraction, but here we go anyways. Divide by 4, divide by 4. Fractions will always be there. They will never go away, so we're going to have to deal with them anyways, huh? And we can just leave it as it is. X is less than or equal to 21 over 4. Can't simplify that any. There's nothing I can divide 21 by that I can divide 4 by. So that's the simplest fraction we can get for that one, and that happens to be our answer. Didn't mean to do that, but we will run into fractions, so there they are. And finally, we've got a little bit extra here just to hit that home of combining all of our like terms. So here we go, distribute 2 times 2x and 2 times 2 will give us a 4x plus 4 plus x minus 1 less than 53. All right, so let's take a look at our variable terms first. We've got 2 like terms. We got a 4x and an x. And then our other 2 like terms are going to be this plus 4 and minus 1. So 4x plus x will give us a 5x, and 4 minus 1 leaves us with a plus 3, less than 53. 2-step, minus 3 minus 3. 5 times x is less than 50. Divide it out. So x is less than 10. All right, so that is how we go about doing this. So for our assignment that you'll get, remember we're only worried about that distributive property, combining like terms, and then just regular steps to solve. And don't ever forget to flip that inequality symbol when we multiply or divide by a negative. Try to include, we had one example there of that happening. So just always keep in mind, if I multiply or divide by a negative, we flip around that inequality symbol. Thanks for listening, and good luck.